Hello everyone and welcome to our 9th international episode of our podcast Millennials. It's 8 a.m. here in Europe. I'm very happy to do this, to wake up this early after a weekend. I need to be honest, I slept literally till 12 p.m. for 2 days. I was so tired.
Yeah, actually me too. I have no energy or time to do anything. I feel tired and disorganized and really lacking discipline. But at the same time, I feel like every millennial is like that, so that calms me down a little bit.
Yes, but I just don't want to say that millennials are lazy, because I wouldn't define myself as a lazy person because my weeks are very busy, full of activities, my job, find some time to run, for friends, for doing the podcast and other activities. But I definitely lack discipline and motivation during the weekend, and I need physical and mental rest. This is very important for me.
Mm-hmm. I actually, once you mentioned the mental rest, and I'm also glad you mentioned it because I feel like we're very lucky, that we have the possibility to turn off during the weekends because as we've learned, it's not standard for everybody. More or less, we have nothing to worry about, no children. At least
for now, yes.
and our lives are very peaceful. So
yes, I totally agree with you, and I need to say that not everyone has this choice to turn off during the weekends like we do. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome our new guest speaker, Han Soo, who has a different destiny from ours. Yeah, I will say a different destiny from ours. And it's a guest speaker whose life changed 1 year ago and has had so much discipline that we cannot even imagine, or I can't even imagine. So Han Soo, welcome to our podcast.
Hey Han Soo.
Hello.
How are you, bro?
Nice to meet you guys. Fine. Life could be better, but it's okay. At this point, it's okay.
Han Soo, so we were saying you have enough of discipline and you have enough of motivation at the moment.
Right.
Could you please tell us why we're talking about life-changing experiences and discipline? What is it that you do?
Probably a year-ish ago, I made the decision to go to the military. For those who don't know, I am from South Korea. So every male, unfortunately, has to mandatorily go and do their service for the country for 1.5 years. So yeah, at this point, I am filling up that service for 1 year now. So I probably have 1 year left.
And is this mandatory, or can you decide not to do it as well?
I guess you can decide not to do it. If you want to lose your citizenship, then yeah, go for it. But I don't think you can. I don't know. It's not a choice. But let's say if you're disabled or physically disabled or overweight or mentally unstable, then you're allowed to kind of pass.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have to serve the military. But
mm-hmm.
in my case, I was
mm-hmm.
this much away from being overweight.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to join. I was a tiny bit off. So yeah.
Okay, and how do you look on the fact that the service is mandatory in your country and that you have no right to choose to do it or not?
Well, again, first of all, we don't have the right. Well, every male in Korea, they don't have the right to kind of choose. But it's funny because before I went to the military, I always thought, you know what, fuck this country. I do not like it at all. Why are they forcing us to go to the military? Because shit can happen. We're against North Korea right now, right? So literally anything could happen. So why are they forcing us to go? But looking at it from now, the point of view right now, it's the stuff that's going on in Ukraine. I don't know. It just got to me saying that maybe our country does need this because especially with North Korea, they're still using nuclear bombs to kind of conquer the world, I guess. So yeah, recently it just got to me saying that, maybe we do need this for our country. I used to shit on women as well in Korea because they talk shit about the males that are in the military.
Why?
No, because in Korea we get incentives, we get discounts on certain stuff and stuff like that. And we get this special card that we can use outside when we're on our breaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
so it's a bargain.
The females in Korea, yeah, basically. So the females in Korea were like, oh, we don't get shit. Like, we get treated like shit and we don't get these incentives. Like, what about us? Right? So I used to shit on them saying, oh, imagine you going to the military, like you going to your job and not being able to leave. Like, you have to, let's say there's someone you hate in your job, right? You have to spend like a year and a half in the same room with them. Like, imagine that. That's what it's like to be in the military, basically. I'm not saying I hate everybody in the military, but it's like, you know, there are some people that, you know, there's like this, you know, yeah.
Yeah, and also talking about women, they can go to the military service or not? They can decide to go. Like, it's not mandatory for them, but they have the right to say that, yes, I want to join.
Yeah, they can still choose to go. But the thing is that not a lot, like compared to the males, there's not a lot of females that are going to, because obviously it's not mandatory for them. But you know, despite all that, I'm still surprised that there are plenty of females in the military, because it's not that they get like separated from the males. They actually have to work with these guys that come to the military. And the main difference is that for the females, it's a job. And for the males, it's more like they're doing it because they have to. Yeah, so that's probably the main difference.
Okay, but at least the women that they chose to go to the military service, at least they can use the discount code. So
yeah,
It's good.
it's good. Han Soo, I want to go back to what you have said before in the connection with the actual situation in Europe. Me and Denise as well, we have to admit that after the Second World War, we thought that we were kind of safe in Europe, and that we are not going to have another large-scale conflict in Europe. There was the Yugoslavian war in the 90s, and so yes, as you said, so there is the armed conflict in Ukraine. We are realizing that the actual situation is kind of insecure. War can start whenever, wherever. It's decision of powerful people, and we cannot do anything against it. Just to explain to our listeners, and I think that they're already aware of this, that in Ukraine, the martial law doesn't allow men older than 18 years old to leave the country, and only women and kids. And I'm actually, this is something I cannot really understand, because if I look at myself when I was 18 or when Dennis was 18, like, I mean, we were such kids, even like mentally, I mean, physically, we weren't ready to experience something like this. So when I'm thinking about it, that even right now, the 18-year-old boys, that they need to stay in Ukraine, so they didn't have, they have never held a gun before or lived in such hard conditions. So do you think that all the young boys should be ready and attend the military service, or it should be mandatory in all the countries?
I think it just depends on the country, like, because in Korea, since it's really like between North Korea and South Korea, there's a lot of tension still to this day. That's probably why the government chose to make it mandatory for all males to attend the service, because probably for our listeners, they don't know this, but even after the service, we still have that law of, if there's a war, we still have to return. Because we serve the military, we know how to do basic like combat and stuff like that, right? So because of that, there is a law where it states we still have to return if there's a war going on, or if there's a threat of any kind. So I think it just depends on the country. Like for Ukraine, I know this happened like all of a sudden with Russia, but knowing that there was like a little bit of tension between Russia and Ukraine, I believe that Ukraine, all the males have to go to the military as well, just like us.
Yeah.
So they did a great job, but it's just that Russia kind of, they weren't sticking to their words. They said they won't hurt any like civilians and stuff like that, but they just went rampage with it. So going back to what you said, what you asked, I think it's in some ways, for some countries, I think it is important for all the males to kind of serve the military, because I can guarantee that after they served it for like a certain time, they still remember what they did in the military. So like I said before, even if there's a war after like your service, even if you don't like it, let's say you have to head back to the war, I think it would help a little bit to the country, at least for your home country. Like, who wouldn't really want to fight for their home? So
Actually, I don't really have a point of view. I can't really say like if it's good or bad. But I really believe that if there is this kind of a situation in the country or a war, like if these men need to return and need to fight for the country,
Right.
I think it can help them as well, because they know how to react in this kind of situation and what to do.
it's not new for them.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
yeah, I just wanted to add something in. Like, from the civilian's point of view, returning to your country for a war, that might seem a little bit like really sad for, like, from their point of view, right? But I mean, in all honesty, some people who serve the military that are going back, they might feel the same way. But from my opinion, like from my experience, I could say that there is kind of that patriotic kind of proudness, I guess, for serving your country. So it's more about like, yeah, it's really just serving your country. There's nothing more to that. It's about service. It's about just giving back, protecting the country. So from a it's different point of views, basically. Because from a soldier's point of view, I can say, oh, it should be mandatory. But from a civilian's point of view, let's say like a mother's point of view, she would hate for their sons to go to the
Oh my
military.
gosh, yes.
So different point of views, different opinions.
Han Soo, so we were talking about our weekends, how we woke up at 12.
Right.
I was wondering how this is different to your day.
So most of the times, so during weekdays, we wake up at 6:30 a.m. In the mornings, well, yeah, weekdays 6:30, and then on the weekends we get to wake up at
6:45.
8 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And so on the weekdays, it's normally we wake up, we go out to the field to kind of get our morning workouts in. So we stretch and then we do a 3-kilometer run.
Easy, okay.
Easy, yeah. And after that, breakfast, obviously. You gotta stay energized. And then from till lunchtime, which is 11:30, we do our kind of daily scheduled, like, which is if we have a big training that week, we prepare for it. Like, let's say, clean our guns or clean our utilities, stuff like that. We do that. Or if it's just a normal week where there's nothing much to do, we basically do cleaning for our base. So what that means is basically if we're threatened from North Korea, or let's say anybody, even a civilian, like a siren goes off, and for each individual, we have a little base that we have to go to and hide there and stay there at gunpoint, right? Yeah, if there's nothing to do, we just go there, clean the base, and then we just come back. That's basically, like, that's roughly what we do, but it's more specific and it's more intense.
And what about the evenings? What do you do in the evening? Do you have like a curfew? Like, you gotta go to bed at 10? Or...
Oh yeah, definitely there's a curfew. So the curfew's 10 p.m. for us. But yeah, in the evenings from 5:30 p.m. we get our phones.
Okay.
So I forgot to tell you guys this, but we don't have our phones throughout the whole day. So from 5:30 till 9 p.m.-ish, we get to use our phones.
Okay.
So the majority of the soldiers that are in the military, they are just using their phones, going on social media and stuff like that.
Okay.
The small percentage of them actually work out during those times. So yeah, like, I mean, we can give them a hand to them, but I'm the majority where I stick on my phone, go on social media and stuff like that, because we have a workout time during the day, which is 4 p.m. to 5:30, right? So I just work out during those times, and then whenever I have my phone, I say, you know what? Fuck everyone. Do not touch me. Like, I'm just gonna be in bed on my phone. Do not talk to me.
But Han Soo, tell me, because I know that at the beginning it was more intense and you couldn't use your phone like
for a month.
yes,
yeah.
for a month we didn't know anything about you.
So yeah, she's talking about boot camp, which is like the training period of the military. So what the boot camp does is it basically, to easily put it, it brings in civilians and then it changes them into a soldier. So that's what the boot camp does. That's why we're not allowed phones, and the training it has to be all done in a month. And since everybody's coming in from the whole nation, we have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Okay. So to put it in, to put it easily, basically all the training has to be done in 2 weeks.
So it's like a preparation. It's like a preparation for the military service.
Yes.
Okay.
That's where we learn how to like shoot our first like bullet and throw grenades and like just climb up stuff like
like a tree.
obstacles.
How did the first month go? Was it from going from your like normal life going to a month full of intensive training? How did that go?
It was really different. Like for the first few days, I was like, to be honest, I was like really depressed because I was like, fuck, I could be doing anything outside right now, and I'm here. Like, so yeah, first few days it was pretty hard, but like once I got used to that schedule that they had in boot camp, it was pretty, because you know human nature, they're like really attracted to kind of that schedule, like routine day, right? Once I got used to it, it was really not that bad. I made a lot of friends in boot camp. So we call these guys drill instructors, the guys who kind of like shout at us and say what to do. It wasn't that bad, and I still contact them to this day, like the drill instructors. Still talk to them, and they're the same age as me, so so we just talk, we just chill. We're friends now because after boot camp, no matter if they're like a higher rank, if it's just like if you're the same age, you just become friends. Like, it doesn't matter.
How is it possible that they're like in the higher level? Like they started the military service when they were 15 or what?
Earlier than I did. So once you become an adult, once you're above 18, right, you can choose to go to the military right away. But in my case, I chose to do it after the first year of uni, right? Because everybody's military service is a year and a half. And between those year and a half, we split it up to a certain rank. So let's say within that year and a half, first 3 months, you're like the lowest rank. And then after that 3 months, you take a test to rank up. And then for the next 6 months, you're a rank higher.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Now I'd like to talk about discipline a little bit. Because so when you're not disciplined enough, do they like beat you up, or is there...
Damn, just straight on to the question.
Is there like a physical punishment or not really?
There used to be. It's when I say it used to be, I mean like
like a week
back
ago.
Oh no. Like back when my dad went to the military. Like that's when I say back in the day. In the military recently, well, not recently, but like a few years ago, I'm talking like 2018, 2019, there was like because, you know, it's mandatory for us to go, right? We didn't want to be here. Plus, all the punishments got all the soldiers like stressed out. So they were reaching out to basically like news reporters saying, oh, we get treated like shit. And, you know, who would want to serve the country if we're getting treated like shit, right? So yeah, all of that became like a big issue, and because of that, the government changed a lot of rules, and the government actually made like a reporting system for all the soldiers to kind of go to if they're treated unfairly, or yeah, if they're, like you said, beaten up during trainings or whatever. They can literally report them, and yeah, it just helps a lot, because if a certain person is getting reported, the first thing they do is they like split the two people, whatever that may be. They just split them. So I guess it's a good thing.
So you never get slapped, right?
Nah, you know, I'm the one who slaps, so I'm kidding. Yeah.
And I was about to ask about bullying.
But Han Soo, just say it for our listeners so they think that it's very hard.
You know what? Yeah, I did get slapped this one time. Nah, everything's good. Everything's good.
Okay, so there's like no bullying among
Nah.
the... No?
Nah.
No.
Okay, so it's pretty friendly.
Well, it's slowly changing. It's still not that friendly, but slowly changing.
Han Soo, so I knew you as someone with a blonde hair, with like a blonde kind of black hair, and I see right now that you have only black hair and your hair is shorter. So does it mean that they shaved you at the beginning or no?
Oh yeah, they do shave you at the beginning. Like
Send me a picture.
literally, it's just bald. Like not even it's probably shorter than a buzz cut. Like it's literally they just shave it off, and then not only the Korean military, it's probably for every single military.
Yes, because we in the past, like our parents told us that they could recognize young men recruited for military service because like their heads were shaved. So
yeah, exactly. And the reason why, like I recently found this out, the reason why they buzz cut you at the beginning is because of cleanliness. Because people that come to the military, they don't know what they have in their hair. They might have lice, whatever,
yes.
and it could affect the whole camp, right? So that's why they do a buzz cut for cleanliness. And I recently found that out. Like I didn't even know why we had to shave. So
And are they going to shave you again right now or no?
not shave, but like probably shorten it up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
You get a free haircut.
Exactly.
It's a sucky one, but it's
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
So I knew you as a person, and I think that you're still the same person who loves food, who loves cooking, who loves burgers, tacos, or all the non-healthy shit. So how's the food in the military service? Is it like a strict diet? Do you lose weight? What do you eat?
It's not a strict diet, but it's
Prisoners
all
food?
the cooking people that no. It's interesting you say that because we recently, oh my god, it's another issue that blew up because the military after COVID happened, because soldiers had to kind of quarantine as well. They reported to the news reporters again saying that we're not getting the right food. So because they sent photos to like the news reporters as well, and if you have a look at it, it's literally a plate of rice. And you guys know kimchi, right?
What? Kimchi?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so it's like a Korean side dish. It's like cabbage, like spicy cabbage. It's a side dish though. It's not a main dish. All they got was that a plate of rice and kimchi. That's it.
That's what I get.
Nah.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, this became a big issue because for a lot of civilians, they don't really know what's going on in the military because it's part of national security to keep that sacred. Because once we spread it out to everyone, it's impossible to kind of secure that information from North Korea. Because even right now, there's always hackers trying to hack us in from North Korea.
Okay.
Especially our like military bases. So we're not allowed to use like USBs and stuff like that. Once we plug it in, that's when they try to hack us. So it's a lot of civilians don't know how we get treated or like what we eat. So once that blew up, the government was like, you know what, let's actually like give them good food. So yeah, we get like good food. We get spoon fed basically.
So when you come to the military service, like, are there any roles assigned to everyone? So do you have like a cooking chef? Do you have someone who is cleaning your clothes?
There are assigned roles, but it depends on what base you go to. So, for example, for my base, it's all infantry people. Infantry as in we're just holding guns. Those guys that you see in movies, that's us. And within those people, a few people kind of apply to cook meals for the people and stuff like that.
And you didn't apply.
Well, you need a certificate that you have to get that shows that you can cook. See, I'm a shitty cooker, so.
But you know how to do noodles.
Well, hey, you know what? Then our country would be fucked because everybody would be fat. So. No, I'm kidding. We get assigned roles. Even in the military, in the infantry, we get assigned to like a specific gun, whether it's an assault rifle or a machine gun or just like a sniper even. So my role is an assault rifle. And yeah, there's plenty of different roles. And for some roles, like let's say like a translator or something like that, you have to apply before you go into the military.
Let's get a little bit serious. I have very serious questions. So Han Soo, I think we know that after war, when the young boys and also the older boys are serving, most of the time they're getting post-traumatic experience, or how do you call post-traumatic illness? So do you guys also have some kind of a mental training so that you avoid this kind of situation?
For like these mental illnesses, we get taught to kind of reach out for help because you guys probably know this, but Asian countries, it's kind of considered like a sin to kind of show mental illnesses and stuff like that. Like, it's not that we consider it wrong, but kind of say, oh, something's wrong with you, rather than saying, okay, let's try to fix this, right? So first day we go to the military, we actually get taught to kind of reach out if you're kind of having problems with your mental health. And we actually get surveyed on how we're feeling at that moment.
Okay.
And then they examine every paper, and then whoever they think is kind of unstable, they don't necessarily say, oh, you don't have to serve anymore. They just say, you know what, we have this psychologist that we can talk to them for a bit and then see if it kind of helps. And then they just carry on with their service. But in my opinion, our country, especially the mental health department, is still weak because every single kind of time we got tutored to reach out, it didn't really do much, especially for the ones who actually do have mental health. Because in my base right now, there's this guy who's struggling, right? But he wants to serve the country, right? So the mindset is there, but he's really struggling. Whenever he's trying to go to reach out for help, they're just saying, oh, you know what, just might as well just, just finish here and then just go back to living that normal life when he actually doesn't want to. Because Koreans, I don't know why, because they just want to get things done really fast. So they actually don't look into it that deeply. So it's kind of sad, to be honest.
And then from like more practical view, what did you learn? Like what trainings did you get? Can you drive a tank?
The biggest one is learning how to shoot a gun and learning how to take it apart, clean it, and then just, assemble it back. The biggest thing probably I learned is just mental toughness probably. Because literally before the military, I was kind of like saying to myself, oh, you know what? Fuck this. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. So fuck it. Especially when it comes to like just keeping your body in shape. Because I always used to kind of lose weight doing the stuff I love to do. For example, Kaki, you probably know this, like boxing, football, basketball, whatever, right? But now, because I'm not allowed to kind of have access to boxing gloves or stuff like that, I have to literally just do push-ups, sit-ups, and just go on a run to lose weight, right?
Some burpees.
Burpees, there you go. It just taught me that, it just gave me that mindset of, okay, everybody's doing it, but why are you not doing it? Or, you know what, if he can do it, why can't I do it? It kind of gave me that mindset. I'm not 100% there yet. It just gave me the mindset that it's not only me that suffers. It's just everybody just needs to do it. So just shut the fuck up and do it.
Do you feel more like a man, like doing all these activities?
Oh no. I still feel like I'm like a little boy. Like I still got a lot of stuff to learn, especially up here. Like decision making, that's one thing I need to kind of learn, because in the military, especially in big trainings where we play a war game, it's basically just shooting at each other. We have to make decisions on the spot. And for us, it's our job to kind of make the right decisions. That's why we do these big trainings so that we can make the right decisions, right? And I kind of, it's to be honest, like I lack on that department of making the right decisions under pressure. So, yeah, I still got a lot of things to learn, but comparing to the civilian me and the soldier me, it's
The new you.
the new me. I think a lot of stuff has changed, especially how I treat other people. Because back when I was like a civilian, just a normal uni student, I used to treat everybody like Kaki. You probably know this. I used to smile a lot, just treat everybody fairly and stuff like that.
Yes.
Make fun, make jokes.
You're not like this anymore.
No, I still am. But there is a side of me where I sometimes, if I get irritated by a specific person, I literally just go off at them. I just treat them like shit. There's a part of me because, in the military, it's all boys. It's literally one of our biggest thing in Korea is just to man up. Because Korea, like I said, it's really, for males especially, it's really hard to show emotions. So that change really kind of changed my personality as well. How I treat other people when they kind of have this tension with me, let's say.
I don't know. I don't think it's really bad because I mean, if you are irritated by someone or if someone doesn't treat you well, I don't think that you need to smile all the time. So I think that it can be also good. It can be and also bad. I don't know how you look at it, but I don't really think that it's something really negative. So
no, I think it's a good thing because also everybody is so sensitive.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very, very difficult, and I see it very difficult that people cannot stand up for themselves many times, and it puts them in a weak position. I think it's not a bad thing to stand up for yourself.
That is true.
Before your mandatory military service, you were studying and you lived in Australia.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, that is correct.
Would you say that this military service, like these 2 years, is
a year and a half?
Year and a half. Like, was it a waste of time, or do you regret doing these years in military?
Right now, for uni, I'm studying media communications. To be honest, like, the military didn't really help with my degree specifically, but as a person, like, it helped me grow. Like, as a person, just growing character, maybe just changing, like, from, I don't know, when Kaki said, do you feel like a man now, I kind of, even though I said that I feel like a boy and, saying that I still have a lot of stuff to learn, I still think that I've grown a lot, especially comparing to when I was back in uni. I had nothing, like, basically I didn't really care. Like, I didn't take responsibility of my actions, right? Kanye, I don't know why you're agreeing to this. But no, to be honest, I didn't take care of anything. I didn't know how to spend money. I didn't know how to stay on time, like submit stuff on time and stuff like that. And factors like that. I think the military changed me to be on time, just get things done at that point. And I think in those kind of cases it helped me, but just looking straight to my degree, it didn't help. Like, it didn't do shit.
Han, so after you get out from the military service, are you going back to do your degree?
Yeah, most likely. But there's like a little bit of thought of maybe staying in the military for a job, maybe. But that's most likely not gonna happen. Just a thought.
In general, would you say that it was a very good experience? I mean, when we talk about the discipline, the hard conditions, or maybe right now when you're on a break, you maybe appreciate more your easy life or the good life that we are having?
Oh, I mean, it's definitely, I could say that it was a good experience. Because personally, for my whole life, I had stuff easy. Literally, if I wanted something, my parents would get it for me. Sometimes not, but like most of the time they would get it for me. And then, they would, because they're such a caring parent, I had it easy. And going going to the military taught me that it's better to hustle than do nothing and just waste time, because looking back now, literally in uni, because it's more like flexible, all I did was stay in my room, go like sleep for like half of the day, and then just eat and do nothing. So looking back now, I was like, bro, I wasted a year of my life doing nothing. Like assessments, like fuck it. I said like fuck it back in that day. I was like, I don't want to do this shit. Like I have stuff to do, which I really didn't. But yeah, looking back now, I was like, damn, like I wasted a year of my life doing nothing. So yeah, this military stuff changed me a lot. Like I said, impacted me a lot and made me realize that this is a little bit cliche, but life is a little bit short.
It's true, actually. I don't think it's really cliche. I mean, it's true. I feel like the life is not going very fast, like till your 20s. But seriously, like what I feel is that once I was 20, like the life is going so fast. Really.
Yeah, it's just that like the time doesn't wait for you. It keeps on going, whether you're doing something or not. Time just keeps flowing. So the thing that changed me the most is that on my break this time, it made me do something every day, even if it's something little, just go outside for a walk or anything. It just made me do something every day because I didn't want to waste any time of my break. And probably if I was like a uni student, I would just been like, you know what, I got next week, it's fine, let's just rest for today and just sleep for like half of the day.
Yes.
So it's really, it's a really good experience.
I'm actually glad that you're saying that because I don't want to say that you were wasting a lot of time when you were a uni student, but I definitely felt that you were different, like when I compared to myself, because I was more like, I need to do things, and you were more like chilling and everything.
Yeah, I was chilling.
Han Soo, before we actually end this, because we are really going to the end, I had one more question. Do you do some sort of simulation training? You wake up in the middle of the night and you need to go to do some exercise or like a mock attack or defense or something?
Oh yeah, we definitely do that. That's basically what I referred as big trainings. For example, we have this, so when you say mock attacks and defense, those kind of trainings last for a week. And those trainings get literally filled in from December till May. So during that time period, we have these big trainings every week. For example, let's say like there's a mock attack on our base, and our job as soldiers, as units, is to protect this. It's from the U.S. Military. It's like a scanning thing where it's a system that we use to protect ourselves. We have to protect that for a week. Like we sleep outside, we eat outside. We're not allowed to return to our base. So, December till May, it's kind of cold. Like it's very cold. Yeah, it's cold as fuck. And since it's a big training, it lasts for a week as well. So these simulation trainings, it's kind of tough because we don't know when it's going to start. So we might go to sleep like from 10 p.m. and the situation, like the simulation might be starting at like 11 p.m. So we might only get 1 hour of sleep or maybe like a few hours. But yeah, that's why we're always tense in those training weeks, because we actually don't know when it's going to start.
And during your military service, do you also, or did you specialize in some kind of area?
If you have certain certificates or a job that you used to have before you joined the military, they look into your profile and say, oh, you used to do this job, so you can apply for this specific role in the military.
Okay, but for example, if you want to specialize afterwards.
Oh, after the military service.
No, because my dad, like he was in the army, and he told me that during the military service, like the boys are specialized. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to pronounce the thing.
They're assigned to like units. Some of them are, like you said, assault rifle or snipers. Some of them are investigators. So what was your area of expertise, maybe?
Right. So I'm in the infantry, but in order to get like you said, with the tanks and stuff, there are certain expectations that you have to kind of cross. So if you don't fit that expectation, then basically if you don't have any specialized area, then you are put in the infantry. So they just put me in the infantry, even though I speak fluent English and I could have gone to like a translator position or something like that. It's still like Korea is big for not looking into international schools or stuff like that. They only look at their own education system. So technically I had no specializing area, so I got put in the infantry.
Before we end, Han Soo, last question that we are asking to everyone: any recommendation to our listeners to do, to listen, to watch, to read, to not to do?
To not to do, okay.
Go to military.
Don't waste your time. Go to military service.
Just live life to the fullest. I mean, if you want to change your life, just go to the military. Like, in all honesty.
No, actually, Han Soo, this is what we were talking about with Dennis before. Like, I was like, okay, for 1 week or 2 weeks to get a really hard experience. Okay, why not? Because I always wanted to participate in the survival TV show. I always wanted to. So I mean, like, military service is kind of the same. But for a year or like for 2 years, I cannot imagine. Like, it needs to be so hard.
A year or 2 years, it may look long because it looked like so far away from me when I joined the military. I was like, fuck, a year and a half? Fuck that shit. Like, I'm not going. But once you join, it's just time passes fast because literally we have a daily routine that we have to do. So it's the same every single day. It might be boring, but at least time passes fast, right?
You're in the military service, you know that you are going to be there for 1 year, you cannot do anything with it, you cannot go out, you cannot change it, so you have two choices. Either you're going to be depressed for 1 year, or either you say like, okay, listen, I'm here, let's do it, you know?
And that's what changes the mindset as well, because a year and a half it may feel long, but it's not really a long period of time. So might as well just, make the best of it and just do something with it. So that's why I wanted to say, just live life to the fullest and just do something that has meaning. Like, every action that you take, just, find the reason, like, find the meaning, what your actions are. Like, why are you taking this action? Why are you doing this? You could have just done something else, be more productive, let's say, or just go out for a walk. Have meaning in every action that you take.
And this is actually good that you're saying that, because our podcast is called Millennials, and one of the negative definition of our generation is that we are lazy, that we are wasting time, and that we can actually see that it's true. You have a good example here, Han Soo.
Exactly,
but he had the experience that changed his life. And that we realize that we are wasting our time sometimes, and that we are lazy, and that we don't want to start any kind of activity.
Exactly, and the most thing that I hear, the thing that I hear the most is that, I'm like already stuck in this routine. I can't change. Like, I changed, so why can't you guys change? That's what I want the listeners to kind of take. Yeah. Because I was fucking lazy. Like, Kaki knows this. Holy shit, like, I did not have a life. Like, all I did was just stay in my room, in bed, just watching Netflix, YouTube, whatever, right? And now look at me, like, I'm just...
Look at you. Thank you, Han Soo, very much. I think that this episode was very rich, and I'm very thankful about you saying that change can happen even if you think that it can't happen. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for taking some time, because I know that you are going to the military service again in 2 days. So thank you very much that you spent this hour with us, and it was great to see you again.
All right, hey, thank you guys for having me here.
it took an interesting spin from like getting the information on the basic military service to the point where you can actually change your life by doing this. But you don't have to do this, dear listeners. You can simply just start doing cool shit. But we would like to thank you for tuning in. This was another episode of our international specials. If you like the episode or you have any tips for new topics or guests, you can let us know at the email millennials.podcast@gmail.com or through social media. You can find our podcast Millennials on platforms like Podbean, Google Podcasts, Spotify and others. This podcast is made in cooperation with Theatre Falangir, and we would like to say hi to our fellow actors and actresses. So see you next time.
Thank you.